Okay guys, welcome back to another awesome haul that I've been picking up here throughout the weeks. It's been a great couple weeks, I'm not gonna lie. There's quite a few bags of Goodwill toys that I've been picking up, and there's a lot of board games, and I'll go and show you towards the end of the video. So first off, let's go ahead and go through this bag of Ziploc toys that I picked up. Now, funny story on this bag, it was at a register. It was in front of a register at a Goodwill, and I was rifling through it, and I took some footage of me finding one of the toys that are in here. But as soon as I put the camera down, I used both hands and I started pulling all these awesome toys out. And this Ziploc bag was actually inside the bin. I emptied out whatever little toys that were in there, and I used this as a shopping bag, if you will. So I got to the register, and the guy looked at the bag, and he said, I'm not pricing these individually. He's like, I'm just going to give you a good deal on these. And he gave me this whole bag of toys for $1.99 plus tax. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to go one by one off camera. I'm going to go one by one and show you these because they deserve individual playtime. Okay, first up we have Agent P. It's a, I saw this, the bottom part here said Disney Infinity. So I was like, ooh, that's a Disney Infinity toy. That would look nice. And he displays nice. Even if I don't have a Disney Infinity account, he displays really nice. And he's from a cartoon. I can't remember. Phineas and Ferb, I believe. So, yeah, he looks absolutely awesome. I never watched the cartoon, but I know that he displays very well. So I'm just going to keep him for that. Okay, next up we have Qui-Gon Jinn from Star Wars Episode 1 movie. And the reason I know that is because if you look upon further inspection, I thought for the longest when I was looking at him, I thought he had a weird mustache, but that's not a mustache. That's the device he used to swim underwater with everyone's favorite character, Jar Jar Binks. When him and Obi-Wan swam underneath to get into the Gungan fortress or whatever, and he had to use that to breathe. So I was like, I thought for the longest that was just the weirdest mustache, but it's not. And he also comes with his lightsaber, which is pretty cool. And I also thought it was broken, but it's not. It's just retracted. So that's really cool figure. So up next, we have one of my favorite 80s mascots. He wasn't very well known now in the 2000s. No kid really knows about the Yo-Noid. For those of you old enough to remember, this is a mascot for Domino's Pizza. And if you're wondering what those pegs are sticking out of his hands, those are where suction cups used to go, and they used to stick things on your windows in your cars for whatever reason in the 80s and 90s. A good example is the Garfield. Garfield was huge on people's windows, and those baby on board street signs, they used to go on the back of minivans. But this was one of my all-time favorite characters. This and Garfield. That we used to put them on our car windows all the time. On the bottom, the stamp says from 1989. I don't know if you can see that. It says 1989. That's how long ago this was. He even got an NES game, I believe. So, yeah, he was that popular back in the day. So the figures I'm pulling out of the bag are just random, and it's just random that I picked up Mikey from the 2013 line. I already have him carded. I don't have him loose. Unfortunately, he's missing his nunchucks, but he looks to be in great condition. His bandana did break off. His little, the little pegs that are, the loose parts of his bandana that looks like to be broken off. But if you display him forwards, you can't even tell. So he looks awesome. Okay, up next we have an awesome Happy Meal toys from the early 90s, and it's from a cartoon series called Tiny Toon Adventures. A lot of you people from the early 90s remember this awesome cartoon. This character here is Babs Bunny, and she is driving what most teenagers would drive if they could, a phone. And look at the phone. These are the kind of phones we used to have back in the day, touch dial. Back then, we used to actually pick up a phone, and they used to have numbers on them and physical buttons, not touchscreen buttons. This is, I mean, I'm talking physical buttons. We used to push physical buttons to make a call, guys. And that was the earpiece, and this was the receiver piece. So I used to put it up against your earbuds, just like how you do cell phones, and used to hear in this end and talk out of this end. So, yeah, it doesn't look anything like a cell phone. And underneath, oh, and it had rotary dial. That's how I had one in my house. We had the rotary dial. It would start at 0. If you wanted, say, 4, you'd go down, and then it would reverse back to 0. And if you wanted 8, you'd go 8, and then you'd go all the way down, and then it'd go back to position. You go to the next. It was old school, guys. Now, let me flip this one over and go to Ducky. A lot of people love Ducky. He was a great character. The biggest episode I remember, the most famous episode I remember, is the one where he would go, water go down the hole. If you remember that one, you're just as old as I am. Now, right after finding the figure that you saw in the video, I found this one. And I was super excited because a couple weeks prior, I found another Shredder, but with his helmet. They sold two Shredders, one with a helmet and one without. And this is the one without the helmet, obviously. But he is much bigger than the normal figure that sells with the helmet on. I have them both carded, I just don't have them loose. And oh my god, to find him in that toy bin for a whole bag for $2 was amazing. So I'm really glad to have picked up this version of Shredder from the 2013 line. Okay, next up we have what I hope to be Disney's Princess Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Now, if she's not the princess, it's a really good knockoff of her because she looks just like Ariel. I picked her up because she looks really cool. She's about 2.5, 3 inches tall. She stands up really well, surprisingly enough, for those high heels there. As soon as you drop her down, boom, see? She stands up really nice, so she'll display really nice on the toy shelf. Okay, next up is another Disney figure that I just couldn't leave there at the bottom of the toy bin. Tinkerbell. She looks so cool. Oh my god, she looks amazing. I couldn't leave her. Any toy that I recognized in that toy bin, I just picked it up. I said, I didn't know if it was gonna be a flat rate or if it was gonna be an individual one for each figure, but I'm glad he chose to sell me the whole bag for $1.99. So literally like 10 cents for each figure that I picked up, and this was worth 10 cents, I believe. Look at her hair bond. Again, I picked these figures up only because I recognized what they were, and they're little Hello Kitty dolls. Oh, look at that. She's like, I don't know what she's got going on here, but she looks like a pilot. There you go. She looks like a little pilot. And this one, she's just a nice little kitty here. So yeah, as long as I recognize the figures, I'm going to pick them up. And they were super cheap. Like I said, they're like 10 cents a piece. Okay, next up we have this slouched over Cobra figure from G.I. Joe's. I don't know who he is because he's from the newer line. I know there's some people out there that know for all years of G.I. Joe, but I noticed right away that it was a Cobra symbol there, so I'm guessing he's a villain. I'm not guessing, I know for a fact he's a villain, but I don't know who he is. It's too new for me to know, but I couldn't leave a G.I. Joe figure behind. Okay guys, next up we have everyone's favorite, Han Solo. Now he looks absolutely amazing. He's, I want to say, about 3 inches tall. And his paint scheme looks really good. He doesn't look scratched up at all. I saw him at the bottom of the bin. A lot of these smaller toys work their way at the bottom. The tag underneath down here says 2013. He looks like he's supposed to be holding some weapons. I'm guessing his blaster, but it did not come with a blaster. It just found the figure itself. But for just the figure itself, he looks absolutely amazing, and he stands up really, really well. Okay, next up we have a villain from one of my favorite toy lines, Captain Power. Now this is Lord Dredd. He is a bad guy, obviously. He doesn't stand very well. He's very hard to stand because his feet are really, really tiny, and he's top heavy. So he just wants to just fall forward all the time. He's half man, half machine. He is missing his purple cape and his blaster. So, but I recognized him right away. I was like, oh my god, this is Captain Power. I had Captain Power. My cousin had Lord Dredd and his vehicle, but I always wanted him, so now I do. Now, I was really, really lucky to have found this guy. He's quite rare. The Bionic 6 line is rare in itself, but to find Jack, I mean, this is awesome, guys. I don't know if you guys know, but this is a die-cast figure. He's really heavy. For those of you who don't know Bionic 6, check him out on YouTube. Great little cartoon series. The toy lines are all pretty much made of die-cast. His chest, torso area here is really heavy. And it's cold because it's made out of, like, metal, obviously. His figure is quite uncommon. I'm not going to say rare, but it's quite uncommon. I was lucky enough to go through this bin of toys that just had awesome 80s toys. I'm glad someone donated it because I just rifled through it and I picked out all the best stuff. Okay, and lastly, we have the creme de la creme that I saw inside that bin. The reason I dove into that bin was because I saw this guy. And if you guys don't know, this is a 1984 figure, Mantor, from the Sectaurs toy line. And if you guys don't know, look it up. It's a great cartoon. It just came out for like 1 or 2 years. I got this figure and a vehicle in like 1984, 85. I was creeped out by it. My dad bought it for me for Christmas. I didn't play with it much because I was grossed out by insects. But to find this figure almost 30 years later is incredible. So yeah, that was oh no, over 30 years. Jeez Louise, that's a long time. I've reunited with this figure. Not my original figure, but it was cool to see him and recognize him inside that toy bin. Okay, now time to move on to the board games. I found 3 awesome board games in the bottom of a box a while back ago, and now I'm going to show you them. I shown these on Instagram and on Facebook a while back ago, and a lot of you guys got excited when you saw this game. This is a awesome board game called Pac-Man the Game. Now, this is based off of the obvious, very famous arcade machine. Now, it doesn't translate well when you play it in board game, but we're going to show you, or I'm going to show you. This is from Milton Bradley, guys. I'm going to show you what it looks like set up. There's the year 1980, and this is all that it came with. It came with a bag full of marbles and a dice. It comes with trays, all designated colors of the ghosts. Comes with 2 ghosts. Now, different board games come with different colored ghosts. I looked up on eBay because I was actually missing, I believe it was a blue tray and like a red piece. So I went on eBay and collected those, and I saw on there that other board games had different colored ghosts. There was some board games that came with yellow ghosts, some board games came with red ghosts. So I was like, oh wow, there's different ghosts that you can get with different board pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up the board so that you can see how it looks like. Well, there you have it. Pac-Man all set up. Now, I don't know the object of the game. I did not read the instructions, obviously, but you get 2 dice. I'm guessing you roll the dice, and the character moves the allotted numbers. And as you go by and pick up a ball, you just go over it, and it swallows it. And it goes into his receptacle. And then I don't know how it is you go about dumping back. Like, when do you go back and dump the balls inside of your tray? But that's how you keep score. The more, I'm guessing, the more marbles you collect at the end of the game, the most marbles wins. But I don't know exactly how the ghosts work or anything, so I'm gonna have to read up on that. I just set it up. I didn't know how it was gonna work. Now, just imagine my excitement when I saw this one right underneath the Pac-Man game. Super excited to see this because I do not own this one. Being a TMNT collector, I did not have the board game. Oddly enough, never came across it. So now I found it for $1, along with the other board games that I found are all $1. Every time I find a board game at my my local thrift store, they only charge $1 for puzzles and board games, and this was no different. Super excited to find this. I don't know if I've mentioned that before in the video, at least 4 times already. But I was super excited to see this. Look at the board game box. It says Pizza Power Game. Oh my god, this is so cool. This came out in 1987 or 88 or 87. One of those 2 years. But very simple, just these little pieces right here, some cards. Let me go ahead and, these are the instructions, but I'm going to go ahead and set it up so that you can see it all in its glory. Now, when you see the artwork for this board game, you will be in awe. It absolutely looks gorgeous. It looks comic book worthy. It looks really good. Now, it came with a couple pieces. It's not very hard. It just came with this seesaw thing, to which it's a very funny system. Like, the way you go on this, the way you roll is by hitting the seesaw with this dice here, and you push down, and like I said, it's not very accurate or very good, but you're supposed to do that, flip it, and whatever number you get is whatever pieces you move, or how many ever pieces you move. There's these sewer cap pegs, little cardboard pieces that look like sewer covers, and they go over these pieces on the board that have stars on them. From what I looked on the back of the box, that's how you set it up. I don't know, again, I don't know how to play it. I just know how to set them up. Now, there's 2 sets of cards that come with the game. They're ones that are labeled bad guys, and there's just a bunch of characters on the cards from the cartoon show. Actually, just looks to be 3. Bebop, Rocksteady, and Krang. And then on this side, we have the good guy cards. And this one consists of April, Michelangelo, and Donatello. Oh, Leonardo, Raph. Oh, there's a lot more on this side. Got Splinter. Nice. You got them all here. So I don't know how it plays. I just know that it comes with this pizza spinner here. Now, this is kind of dumb because you're supposed to have it over in the middle, but in the middle, there's some great artwork here with Krang in the middle. I would just leave this to the side and just do it from the side just to see that. That'd be really cool. All right, and the last thing I have to show you guys to cap off this video is this 1984 Transformers board game. This is awesome. Oh, I love that artwork. Now, if you notice the Optimus Prime here, he looks like the toy Optimus Prime, not the actual Optimus Prime from the cartoon series. I don't know why they did that. But a lot of the packaging comes, a lot of the Transformer packaging, not just the board game, but all the other packaging, a lot of it comes with this cartoon figure on there, or this toy figure, not the actual character from the cartoon. It's just weird. That's not even his gun. And then look at his eyes. That doesn't look like his whole mask is wrong. It's all wrong. So yeah, no, it's definitely something that is worth picking up if you're a Transformer collector or toy collector or board game collector. Just having these old board games are really cool. Look at Starscream. Oh, this looks like a really awesome poster if you ask me. So it'd be cool to have that blown up. And here is the actual pieces. You get some cards, and I put all the pieces in a plastic bag as to not lose any of them. But this is what I wanted to show you. I'm going to spread this out and show you on the table what the back side looks like, because this is the back of the board, the game board. This is the back of the game board, but the real game board is in the middle. But I'll show you that here in a second. So let me go ahead and pull this out. Okay, here is the game board all set up for you guys. I don't know how to play it. I just know how to set it up from what I've seen on the back of the box. I don't know the rules, but it looks fairly simple. You have a bunch of these little Pog looking pieces with all the characters on them. You got Bumblebee here. You've got Cliff Jumper. You've got Brawn. I've got Brawn carded. I don't know why I mentioned that. You've got Huffer. You've got Wind Charger. You see that? Wind Charger. And then you got Gears. So then all the playing pieces are Optimus Prime. He's either transformed or he's in vehicle mode. I don't know how this works. I just see that over here there is a space for draw cards. And then over here on this side is a space for discarded cards. So I thought as soon as you play a card, you just discard it once it's done. So I don't know how this works, but it looks pretty cool. It looks simple. It's called Adventure Game, Defeat the Decepticons, and it's from 1984. I just want to show you over here that this is for selling toys. This wasn't cartoon. I don't think this was off of the cartoons, because if they would have done the cartoons, they would have changed up Optimus Prime over here into his cartoon figure, not his toy figure. This is his toy figure. And the reason I know that is because you can see over here you got Ratchet in his toy form. He doesn't look anything like his cartoon figure. He looks like his toy figure. So that's how I know that they just used this to sell toys. This was probably before the series came out, I'm guessing. So there you have it, guys. This is all the board games that I picked up, and let me go ahead and set up all the stuff that I found for you guys. Well, there you have it, guys. Everything I've picked up in the last couple weeks. I've got way more stuff to show you, but I figured that this video was long enough, so I shortened it off by showing you just like one of the little bags that I got and showing everything individually, because everything deserves its individual time on camera. So I thought everything was amazing. That's why I picked it all up. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Okchief. Peace out, y'all.
Class, what animal do you think of when I say honey?
Frogs.
Frogs.
Because now I make honey smacks.
Diggum makes them honey smacking good.
You know a lot about honey, Diggum. What kind of grades did you get?
Bees.
Kellogg's honey smacks.
Part of this good-for-you breakfast.